Namaste and hi friends, it's Parvati here with Visionary Veda, bringing you your Vedic astrology report for November 2020. Today is 11/11, so I'm really happy to be bringing you this report today. In this report, I'm going to talk about three major things, okay? Tomorrow, Dhanteras, November 12th. It's a big day in India for having gratitude for all the abundance that's brought into our lives. Okay, it's on the 13th Tithi or 13th phase. Waning phase of the moon, before Amavasya or before Black Moon, which is going to happen on the 14th, which is Diwali. So that's also going to be a very potent new moon, and we're going to talk a little bit about the different rituals and things that we do to help bring in the abundance for our lives and continuing on for the year. And then the last thing that I want to cover in this report is Jupiter, changing signs. Jupiter going from the sign of Sagittarius into its debilitation sign of Capricorn. It's a very exciting transit. Okay, so let's get started. So happy 11/11 once again to everybody out there. Tomorrow, the 12th of November, is Dhanteras, the 13th Tithi of the moon, the 13th lunar phase of the moon before the dark moon, which is Diwali. On Dhanteras, we give thanks and we do puja and rituals to show our gratitude for all of the dhan in our life. What is dhan? Dhan is wealth. So we have material wealth and abundance. We also have the wealth of knowledge. We also have the wealth of health, which is most important, well-being. We have the wealth of our friends and families, right? So on this day, shopkeepers do puja to their books. Students also do puja to their books. We do puja to Lord Dhanvantri, who is the Lord of Ayurveda. Ayurveda is the science of life and longevity, the ancient Indian Vedic science of life and longevity. Lord Dhanvantri is the Lord who brought us this science, and also Lakshmi. Now I know that on Diwali is the day of Mahalakshmi Puja, where we do puja to Goddess Lakshmi and to Lord Ganesha. But it starts on Dhanteras, which is tomorrow. All sorts of Dhanvantri, Lakshmi, all of these things, they came from the great cosmic, the churning of the great cosmic ocean, or the fantastic story of the Shiv Sagar, the churning of the Milky Way. And you guys that have been following my channel know this story because I refer to it quite often. Okay, so it's the churning of the Milky Way, where all of these nectars, all of these gifts were bestowed to us, along with the poisons that came out, and ultimately the amrita, or the nectar of immortality. So tomorrow, a great day to give thanks for all the abundance that we have in our lives. It's also when Jupiter and Pluto conjunct directly. Okay, so it's like the exact conjunction of Jupiter and Pluto. Now, Jupiter is in the last few degrees of sidereal Sagittarius, where it's been for the last year. It has evoked all of us in some way, shape, or form to see what are our ideals, right? What are our values? What is our higher knowledge? From what perspective are we coming from? What is right? We've seen this play out on the world stage in many ways over this last year. So now, tomorrow, when there's the exact conjunction of Jupiter with Pluto, a lot of things can happen in our lives depending on where this conjunction falls in your chart, to make some sort of a transformation for us to bring this higher knowledge into our realities, okay? And it's going to also like continue for the rest of the week until the 20th of November, when Jupiter itself moves into the sign of Capricorn. But when we have this exact conjunction, many things can happen. It's not necessarily that it'll happen to everybody. Again, it depends on your personal birth chart. And if you would like a reading or a session with me where we go over your personal chart to see how things affect you in your own life, please feel free to send me an email on the contact below to schedule a session with me, okay? But one of the ways that Jupiter and Pluto conjunct can manifest is, I'll just give an example. Let's say that you are stuck in a dead-end job and you really have these higher visions of yourself and of your life, but you're in this job. Well, you could get fired from this job, and on a superficial level it's seen as something not good. You can be nervous, you can be afraid. It's something, boom, out of the blue, but something that is forcing you to transform, Pluto, and bring in your higher ideals. So it gives you space to be able to find another job or start something else that's more in line with your higher ideals, Jupiter. Okay, so that's just one small example of how these things can manifest in our lives. So that's going to be on the 12th. Then we have Friday the 13th. And then on Saturday the 14th, we have the great festival, the great day of Diwali, new moon in November. Now, Diwali is the festival of lights. Diva is actually translated to light. This festival happens when the sun is in its debilitated sign. Sun gets debilitated in the sign of Libra, so it's not at its strongest. So the sun, which provides us all with all the light, right, is at its weakest point. So what we do is we bring in our own internal lights. One very important ritual that all of us do is we clean our homes on Diwali, and we decorate our homes with color, and then we put candles or divos or ghee lamps actually throughout our home to symbolize the internal illumination, right? When the sun or our soul is not strong enough to illuminate us, to guide us, to bring light into our lives, we sort of pick it up, right? We clean our homes. We get rid of everything that has outlived its usefulness, outlived its purpose. We, balance the checkbook. We balance the accounts. We get everything in order. We clean, and then internally, because the home is representative of our internal home, right? It's a symbolism of our inner peace, the place where we feel the most ourselves, and we bring our inner light outwards. So it's a celebration where we give thanks not only to the goddess Lakshmi, who brings us abundance, not only to Lord Ganesha, who clears the obstacles out of our paths to bring in this abundance for the year, but to our friends, to our family, to our associates. We give gifts, we give gratitude for all that everybody else brings into our lives. We give thanks for one another. We give thanks for everything that we have, all the wealth, all the abundance we have received. And we give our gratitude that the gods and goddesses stay with us throughout the remaining year, to bring us more abundance, right? To elevate us, to bring us more light. The day after Diwali is the Indian New Year. So this is when our New Year starts. So happy Diwali to everybody on Saturday. Now on Saturday, along with Diwali, which is again Amavasya, black moon, where the sun and the moon are conjunct in the sidereal sign of Libra, along with Mercury, right? We have Mars stationing direct in Pisces. Now, Mars went retrograde from Aries into Pisces. It crossed the Gandanta point. Remember me speaking about this in my earlier reports on August the 17th, right? Now it's been going retrograde in Pisces for all this time. Mars, the planet of directness, the planet of focus, the planet of sharpness, of piercing, has gone into Pisces and has affected us all in some way, shape, or form. And again, if you'd like to see how this has affected you in your own personal chart, please feel free to get in touch with me for a consultation, okay? But basically, it has penetrated into the sign of Pisces, which is the sign of the one, the collective, the deep cosmic ocean of consciousness, of which we are only but a wave, right? Mars is very individualistic. It's all about me. Aries is very individualistic. Mars rules Aries. Now, when Mars goes backwards into Pisces, the individual, in some way, shape, or form, has been forced to reckon with its limitations. It has brought out deep emotional realizations. It has shown us what we are made of. It has shown us the limitation of our own individuality, of our own ability to control circumstances, and has seen deeper truths of our being. A lot of times it's not easy to see. A lot of times our biggest fears have been brought to the surface for us to see. We've dived deep into our emotions to see what we're really made of, to see what's really in charge. And it's not our small individual selves. It is the depth of the cosmic consciousness, the depth of this ocean that we're all a part of, and that we can all tap into during times of turmoil and hardship in our lives. So on Diwali, this Mars is stationing direct in Pisces. It's a day for us to go deep into our connection with the divine. And after Diwali, it's going to start moving direct. Still in Pisces until December 24th, I believe. But whatever it is that we've been forced to reckon with on a deep emotional level, we can start to bring forward into our lives as tenets to live by. It's transformed us all on a very deep level. And I would love to hear from you how this time of Mars and Pisces has helped to transform your life on a very emotional, very primal, deep level, okay? And then after Diwali, we only have 6 days left of Jupiter in its own sign of Sagittarius. Now, we've had Jupiter in Sagittarius for a year, and we've seen how all of these ideals, all of these higher strivings of morality, of righteousness, of what's right or wrong, what's just, has come to the surface. Now, when Jupiter moves into sidereal Capricorn, it's still going to be conjunct with Pluto, so it's going to be very transformational. But in the sign of Capricorn is going to make us work really, really hard in implementing those ideals into our daily lives. Okay, it's going to be sitting with the Lord of Capricorn, which is Saturn. And Saturn is going to inspire us and force us to put these ideals into practice through hard work, through really doing our karmas, our actions is what what is going to make our dreams manifest. Okay, it's really easy to be Jupiter in Sagittarius and have all these ideals and have all of these dreams, but to bring it into reality is going to take the hard work of Saturn. So Saturn and Jupiter are going to be conjunct very soon. Jupiter stays in one sign every 12 years. So it's not coming back to Sagittarius for another 12 years. Jupiter and Saturn are conjunct every 20 years. So this is a very rare planetary configuration. I'm really sorry my computer is glitching. I'm going to try and stay focused and deliver this information. It's really important, okay? And it's very exciting information. So I'm just going to try and focus to get this out. So Jupiter and Saturn conjunct once every 20 years, okay? So it's very rare that we have this opportunity. Now, the last time Jupiter and Saturn were conjunct in the sign of Capricorn was in 1961. That's right, 60 years ago is when we had this conjunction last. And we all know what happened in the 60s. We had a huge renaissance, a huge quantum evolutionary leap, a cultural leap in our ideals, in our awareness, in our ways of just being, in our what we found acceptable. You know, it was oftentimes I talk to my sangha, my group, my friends about how the 60s was the biggest leap from going from the 50s, the culture of the 50s to the 60s. What a quantum leap that we made. It was the biggest leap in our generation, right? And now we're going to have such a leap occur again, but this time is going to occur like it's going to be a cultural revolution. It's going to be a revolution in our consciousness. It's a very exciting time, and I'm really looking forward to seeing how this conjunction of Jupiter and Saturn in Capricorn helps us to evolve as a society, as a planet, as a consciousness, as a collective consciousness. We are poised. We are on the precipice of great leaps in evolution, of consciousness, of culture, of society, on so many different levels. Get ready. It's going to be an amazing ride, okay? So with that, I'm going to end. Thank you all so much. Oh, one other thing I wanted to mention is on this new moon that's happening on Diwali, which is new moon, which is Diwali, is happening in Swati Nakshatra. Okay, so it's the nakshatra of change itself. So bring in the change. What I suggest doing before Jupiter changes signs on the 20th is really journaling, right? Especially on this new moon, because Mercury is conjunct this new moon. Really journaling and writing down our higher visions. What is it that we're wanting to bring in? Write it down. Don't worry about how. Hold that vision somehow. Capture that vision somehow. So that when Jupiter moves into the sign of Capricorn, we can keep that vision and get to work in implementing it in our lives. So thank you all so much. Happy Dhanteras. Happy Diwali. Happy 11/11. And until next time, enjoy the life. Enjoy this sacred and special time that we are so lucky to participate in. We are creating these changes, and it's going to be amazing. Until next time, I appreciate you all. Please like, subscribe, and share this information so that other people will benefit from it. And we will see you in the next video. Take care now. Bye-bye.